September is a tough time of year for firefighter HISHAM TAWFIQ and many New Yorkers who witnessed the attacks of 9/11. TAWFIQ's best friend was one of the 343 firefighters killed that day.
The passing of him and then connecting with his mother and his sister who worked in the building he responded to, and knowing he has a son and I have a son is, it strikes a chord.
He hasn't been back to the site since. 9 years on, what's still known as Ground Zero is slowly being rebuilt. Construction workers have begun to cover over the hole in the ground, but 2 square indentations, the basis of the 9/11 memorial, serve as an eerie marker of where the Twin Towers once stood.
Here at the site of the World Trade Centers, there is real progress being made in construction. For the first time, you can see rising 40 stories above the ground what will be World Trade Center 1. But all of this progress has been overshadowed in the run-up to the anniversary of the attacks of September 11, 2001 by a controversy over an Islamic cultural center being built just 2 blocks away.
The plans call for replacing this old building, which was showered by debris from the towers, with a 13-floor Islamic center open to people of all faiths.
No less! No less!
But the opposition from some 9/11 victims' families, encouraged by vocal right-wing bloggers and politicians, has been fierce and effective. The tone of the rhetoric has come as a shock to many Muslims who say they're being unfairly linked to the 2001 attacks.
You turn on the television, you turn on the radio, and you witness basically an onslaught of attacks against Islam. Muslims are now being constantly demonized and are painted as foreigners, as the other.
I am an American.
I'm a Muslim. This is my faith.
This is my voice.
In an attempt to counter the rhetoric, a grassroots coalition of Muslim Americans have produced this message.
We constantly get other people saying who Muslims are. You get these so-called specialists out there who'll say, okay, well, this is your Muslim. These are who Muslims are. They're not even Muslim. So we're trying to give us Muslims in the community a soapbox to say, hey, look, this is who we are. We're not what the media is saying. We're your normal everyday guy who's a sports fan or an artist or a photographer, whatever it may be. We're your neighbors.
And they are firefighters like TAWFIQ, who was born and raised in Harlem, New York. He spent a year living in Mecca and also served in the U.S. military as a Marine.
To think that Muslims are out to just wipe out Christians and it says it in the Quran. A good Muslim is just as equal as a good Christian, and a good Christian a good Jew. We're all the same.
A recent high-profile attack against a Muslim taxi driver in New York and a suspected arson attack on a mosque have further raised fears among some Muslims that the U.S. is becoming increasingly hostile to their faith. So TAWFIQ, too, is speaking out in an ad sponsored by the Council on American-Islamic Relations.
I'm a New York City firefighter, and I responded to 9/11, and I am a Muslim.
He and other Muslims just hope their fellow Americans are listening. Kristen Saloomey, Al Jazeera, New York.